It's alright, my love. You can cry to me.
Hello, welcome to Masterpeace. Change of scenery, no pun intended, literal change of scenery. This is Tsewang Rigzin, also known as Tsewang Sai. I am a content creator slash podcaster slash part-time filmmaker, full-time professional son. Yeah, happy to be here on the pod. Let's talk about some mental stuff.
Welcome, Sai. You knew it was only a matter of time before you came here.
Yes. Now you finished the podcast cinematic universe. You can take in two of my husbands. Now the main chick is here.
Sai. Okay. I just want to address first thing. Well, Kine has left both of us at this point.
Trauma bonding.
No, but I want to address right away what you nearly got cancelled for when I was on your podcast a couple years ago. Let's start with that.
Okay.
Let's start strong.
From the bang. Okay, let's go.
So, I feel excited about this conversation we're going to have today. I'm very grateful to you for agreeing to come on. I'm also grateful that you invited me onto your podcast a couple years ago. And then you didn't even have enough battery.
Yeah.
You didn't even have enough battery.
But that time it was very small scale production. I was shooting on my iPhone.
No, you had a camera, but the battery ran out, and it became a 30-minute episode instead of 1.5 hours.
Yeah, but we talked for 1.5 hours, but only 30 minutes.
That's true. We're drinking also. But
just kidding.
I think that was kind of the last time we talked that long and maybe perhaps had a proper conversation. And you said that, oh, your podcast is very niche. Mental health is very niche. I feel like, and I agreed with you at the time. That was like almost 2 years ago. I think things have evolved for me now. I feel like it's very much mainstream. And it's been a long time since that for you as well. And I feel like you have maybe actually covered even more mental health conversations and persons than me. Like when you have, for example, spiritual leaders as guests, you are talking about wellness a lot of to quite a large extent. I feel like religious teaching, spirituality is about how to be well, especially Buddhism. Buddhism focuses so much on the mind, right? And you had a guest with bipolar disorder talk openly. So I feel like you've gone through an evolution as well. So I'm interested. Has your views changed since then?
I think we had this conversation last time, off camera. I think anime got longer. I can speak in Zongamu.
Yeah,
Half to more. Is it extra? Could be exclusively English. Like I think we said, I said yes and no. Yes is like I've not completely changed my views, but I'm open to other people's opinions. Like I think what you said about canceling, to touch on that, I said something about depression. No, like depression is a hole you need to take yourself out of, and no matter how many people or they try their efforts to take you out, you have to take yourself out. That's the only way you can get out. But I think I put it badly.
You put it pretty badly.
Should I say what I said? No, I think I'll let the people watch the pod to see what I said now. Just kidding. And I think that was the audio version. I think it didn't come on the camera, but in Spotify needs this machine. But anyways, going back, little bit changed. Like I think I said that on the pod. I can empathize, but I can't relate. But then again, it's a mental issue kind of thing, it's a matter of perspective. So some people will have it much better, and then when things go wrong, it's like the world's just shattered. And some people have lived with it their whole lives, so it's easier to deal with. And sometimes, like Ngaraya, like I'm also standing from a point of privilege. I didn't, grow up with a hard upbringing. Fortunately, parents provide way that I had food to eat. No problem with that, and no problem with, like, let's say, housing or education and health. And some people might have brought up with more difficult, harsher, upbringing. That's when you speak like Jalani besu besu. Maybe when they're hearing it, it seems like out of touch, in poor taste, to say, like, like, it's okay, you can get through it, just get through it. No. But I think anime, I think it's also like a matter of perspective, like what I mentioned. Some people might look at it logically,
Mm,
and some might look at it emotionally.
mm,
Like what I've been also listening and improving myself is, men would like to find solutions and try
mm,
to be the hero,
yeah.
while women just want to be seen, semena, and get validation, and try to, like, let's say example. I've used this example in my podcast also. It's like a woman example. She has a nail in her head. Okay, right now, chance it, boom, and then a man will come and say, like, what's going on? There's this pain in my head. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's bothering me so much. And then the guy will say, maybe if you take that nail out now, you might feel better. And then the woman will be like, what's your problem? Did I ask for a solution? I just want you to understand what I'm going through right now. It hurts. I'm in pain. I'm uncomfortable. And if he says, yeah, sorry, it must be really difficult for you. And if she says, oh, see, just wanted you to know that. So I think that's the matter of perspective.
Well, I feel like that's a poor example, man. That's a poor analogy because nail on the forehead is like obviously you remove it, but then come on, not all problems are black and white.
Yeah.
Not all
Yeah.
problems have like an easy solution. No,
Yes,
but
yes.
men are wired and also perhaps societally encouraged and conditioned that way to solve problems, and then from solving problems or being a provider, being the strong one, that's where you get your worth as a man, no? And so when it comes to mental health, this is also what creates like issues. So for example, like women, they have more, like they say they have more mental health problems, they're more likely to seek help and talk openly, things like that. Women also find more support with each other because they talk about it. I want to be seen, I want you to understand. But that's where a lot of the processing happens, especially for issues that aren't so easy to solve. And that's why although women may report more mental health issues, they have less suicide rates than men.
Yes.
And for men, like, it doesn't help that the conditioning is like, why are you being like a woman? Why are you, speaking like that? Why are you complaining? Things like that. And unfortunately, it culminates in that imbebate. So I think you're right about men want to solve problems, but sometimes when it comes to mental health challenges, like, come on, like, can I provide for my family throughout in an unstable economy, in a changing world where AI is, taking away jobs every day? Like, you don't got it figured out, but the expectation is you're a man, you better have it figured out. And that's difficult because you're not allowed to admit it. And I feel like in some ways, like for men, you're not allowed to show like your humanity. Like Kile and me, we used to talk about that a lot, right? It's not just women who have emotions, men have emotions too. But women are allowed to show it, but men aren't allowed to show it. And there are many men who can handle it, who can suck it up, who can deal with it. But then sometimes you may go through stages in your life where it just gets too much. Like you lose your job, you get divorced, you lose all your savings. Like, then it adds up. So it's all about how you manage the level of stress. I feel like, see, it's like you did deliver that line. It was poor execution. I think that's why everyone came after you in the comment section. But then I know you personally. I know what you meant. I know how you think, and I know where you were coming from. And 2 years later, I really feel that your opinions on this have evolved.
What makes you feel that way, Lapsh? Now let's dissect some more. What makes you think, Lapsh?
Some of the conversations that I've seen, like for example, when you said like, oh, you're a niche podcast. But then I see you cover more mental health topics sometimes in your conversations.
But that's also a niche topic, like I'm saying.
It's not niche, man. Come on, it's mainstream. I feel like mental health is all encompassing. It just covers everything.
No, I know. What's your definition of mainstream anime? My definition of mainstream is like popular celebrity guests, popular trendy topics, pop culture, Hansu. Those are like more like Vishlanga, mainstream. Now, when you go to niches, it can be anything. You can talk about mental health, you can talk about sports, you can talk about, let's say, like hobbies, so like let's stamp collecting or graphic design, t-shirt, fashion. That is like that's the subtopics to show what. While as mainstream is more, I think the popular
Yeah,
culture.
but your guests, like, they do talk about, like, oh, I really suffered that time. I was going through this. I was
Mm-hmm.
going through a divorce law. I was going through that law.
Yeah,
Like, obviously, it doesn't go as deep as this podcast because
Mhm.
that's the whole focus of this podcast, right?
Getting deep.
But I feel like, yeah, I have seen that transition
Okay,
over
okay,
time for
okay.
you.
Fair assessment.
Yeah.
But also like I want to know more. No, like I'm the person who like watches a serial killer documentary not because to see gore and Kashlonga, the climax, how he gets caught or how he gets away with it. I want to see what led him to the point to become that kind of person.
Hmm.
You know, what kind of life did this person live? What kind of relationships this guy had with their mother or their parents or with their siblings? Was he bullied? What kind of like trigger did like tipping point did they reach in order to be that kind of person?
This is exactly what I'm talking
So that's
about.
more interesting to me about that.
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Uh,
Yeah. When I was in college, one of my favorite classes was called Abnormal Psychology.
mm,
And that was the psychology of, like, yeah, people who can do horrible things, who end up
mm,
doing horrible things.
yeah,
And then the whole thing is exactly what you're saying.
yeah,
Exactly what you're saying. How did he get here?
mm.
So you're into true crime?
Yeah, but more the what I've realized is anime behavioral science. It's interesting
Mm,
behavior. Like
yeah.
even if someone's regular, like example, Pingu, who's off camera. What she's a woman in the creative industry behind the camera, very uncommon, abnormal, you might say also. What led her to her point in life to get here? That's also interesting.
You mentioned, like, you feel like you've done like 124 episodes now
Yeah,
in your podcast.
27 as of today.
127.
Mm.
Not a little. You said that over time, one evolution you see in yourself is that you feel like you're a behavioral scientist, not claiming that you are, but then in engaging with so many people, in having to facilitate so many conversations with lots of people you know, but people you have never met, you're meeting for the first time, you're talking to them on camera. You said you feel like a behavioral scientist. Can you please tell the audience what you meant by that?
Papa, okay, did her research, huh? This lady. Ah, anime men are there. Like when you meet so many people off camera and on camera, and you have long conversations. Some of them are silly, some of them are a little deep. Then you watch also like the content I consume. You pick up certain things more there or tendencies.
Mm,
Like example, if you can't give me eye contact, maybe you're lacking a little confidence or
mm,
you're trying to hide something. Some small things,
mm,
and you pick
mm,
up on those things. So
mm,
that's what I mean. And also
mm,
like uh, you can just tell by the body language, energy, how they're speaking. So and also like also family is a little bit spiritual. So I'm also like I like to blend science and faith. So I'm just mixed up build then you can tell sometimes
mm,
you can just as soon as you walk in their aura you can feel somebody. It's basically anime menate because they've studied so much in that picking off this and that you can you can come up with a calculated guess if someone is that and usually you can get on the higher margins of let's say this could be true or this could be bad. So anime it's like
mm,
these kind of factors maybe play into that. So
mm,
but but you can make an educated guess
mm,
anime.
mm. And how has that changed your how you show up as like a content creator? Oh, sorry. For me, I'm more interested in as a podcaster.
Hmm. They also, if you want to be a podcaster, you have to engage with audience. And
Mm,
it's all about communication, my man.
mm,
So it's also being a good communicator.
mm,
So trying to listen more these days rather than speak, because you learn more as a listener than trying to be more what you call agenda driven when you speak more. Opinions. So Oh, sorry, what was the question? I didn't deviated.
Like
Like,
observing so many people
mm,
reading their subtitles, right?
mama,
Reading their subtitles,
uh,
not necessarily what they say, but
read
doing the
between the
vibe
lines.
checks,
Oh.
observing their aura
Mm.
and all that. How has that changed you? How have you evolved as a podcaster?
Then I need it. Like you become more observant.
Mm,
So I also as like when I'm doing the podcast, it's more like I want to connect with whoever I'm speaking with, try to be present and try to try to have a good conversation,
mm,
but also be like mindful that audience is there. They want to listen to something which is interesting rather than not
mm,
something maybe you and I just want to talk about.
mm,
So a lot of few factors in, but mainly like if you want to have a good conversations, like let's say you mention a few things and then let's say we pivot, we go to different tangent and we talk about it. Then let's say it's a little like a silent spot. Then I'll know how to bring it back because I picked up something between the conversation. So that's what I'm saying. You'd be a good observer, good listener. So Anigme, trying to have a good conversation, number one, with the person I'm speaking to, but also keeping in mind that I'm also trying to entertain the audience. But that is somewhat secondary, but it's primarily for the audience. But secondary is if you and I having a good conversation, then my player audience they'll also be engaged in manner. But if I'm just being more like trying to speak to them rather than trying to speak to you, then you're missing out. And then it also comes back to them that they are also not like there's some gap there right now. So
that's a tough balance.
mm-hmm.
I don't know how you maintain that. For me, like, I have deep conversations with my guests, but for that, I get accused on the entertainment part. And that's a hard balance for me. And I guess you would say, like, oh, it's because your topic is more niche, it's more directed to a specific audience, not the mainstream audience. But how do you balance that?
So you just think, okay, what's some topics they would like to hear? Clickbaity topics. Let's say, example, love life. Very trendy topic. Everyone wants to talk about love life. Okay, then you can talk about that. And if they're not comfortable, then you can go back. Okay, then tell me why your love life is not so great, or tell me why your love life has been absent. You see, like then you can go a little deeper. But then you start with the clickbait question, but then you go a little deeper. So it's like basically I say like when you meet a pretty girl in the bar, okay, but maybe you might want to know who she is, want to buy her a drink, talk. But then once you speak to her, you realize whether you want to ask her on a date. So you come for the looks, stay for the personality.
Do a vibe check. Okay, so it sounds like you've learned to balance that very well.
I don't know. Still learning.
Yeah.
Still learning.
It's a work in
It's
progress.
always a work in progress. We have to always try to be a student rather than the teacher.
So one thing I really like about you from day one is that it was
Boiling water.
that's
Light, yeah. Wow, loud lights. Sorry.
you
Deviate.
I love that you swear on your podcast. I
Can I
love
swear here? No, I can't.
you can swear
But
and
you
you
bleep it
will
out.
be edited out.
Okay, then.
I think well, our circumstances are different, but then it's not just the swearing, it's what the swearing represents. The swearing and a lot of the things you talk about. Of course, like nobody anywhere is 100% free. There is no 100% freedom in this world. But I think you represent, I think you are as free as someone could possibly be in a small society like ours. And I really appreciate that because freedom is one of my personal highest goals. So, how do you balance that in a small society? Does it take a toll on your mental health?
Deep question.
No, does it take a toll on your mental health? Because authenticity and being free, being who you are, it always comes at a cost. Because if you want to be liked by everyone, you got to be vanilla. And if you're going to be vanilla, then everybody likes you. When everybody likes you, it means that you're not really authentic.
Yeah.
because you're catering, you're trying to please everyone, right? You're
Right.
trying to make everyone happy except yourself.
Right.
But when you make yourself happy,
Mm.
then it rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
Yeah.
And what I've learned about authenticity through this podcast, like, putting my face out there, is like, the more authentic you are, the more people love hate you. They like the middle ground, which is where vanilla lives, becomes less and less.
Oh, okay. So,
So, like, I feel really connected.
oh,
I feel very grateful for the people who really like me and support me,
Mhm.
and the people who can't stand my guts.
Mm.
That hurts. And I'm still learning.
How do you balance that thing? Yeah. Which law? Being authentic and trying to be also myself. So, yeah,
Being
freedom, yeah.
being authentic in a small
Small
society.
society. Okay, okay. I remember like at a young age only, I just wanted, like you said, I wanted to freedom. So freedom of expression also.
To speak for you.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to be any. I'm not trying to. I don't want to pretend to be somebody else. And then maybe I'm inspired and influenced by a lot of people in my life, including the movies and shows and the friends and people I've encountered. But honestly, you know who you are as which women, and like you said, swearing and all. One reason is why I swear on the podcast is to make it free. Like maybe people might be thinking I'm vulgar or a little crude, but it's also like it's how I talk off camera, and I'm trying to be more of that off camera persona on camera than as much as I can. Like obviously you'd filter yourself a little bit because sometimes not sometimes now my parents are watching every episode, and Vishlanga, sometimes like I get audience like who are like in high school, and then they're like very impressionable, and sometimes they get like what you call senior citizens, people working in the shunga, all types of people. And my parents are also very like conservative, traditional in a way, but they allow me to be who I am. So I don't want to disrespect them, but at the same time, I'm trying to play with that balance. You just said, I think it's all about balance, trying to be myself. But I also like as much as I can. Ngara kachi no middle up tami. So that's why sometimes I get in situations where I trigger a few people. But it's also like I appreciate. Okay, now since I can't swear, I'll water it down. Okay, I appreciate an honest douchebag. You can be a douchebag to everyone, but at least he's being himself, or she's being themselves, rather than someone who's trying to be fake nice.
That's what.
Okay, I don't
That's
like
what
that.
I'm
I don't like.
saying.
And then me, like I said, being a little behavioral scientist at this learning, I can tell a little bit more often than not when someone's not being genuinely themselves. They're putting a filter, and it's not a bad part for other people, miss. It's for yourself because you're not trying to. You're just trying to put a front there. Whether and then mainly like we're going back to that point is I really honestly don't care what people think. But now it's more like whether they think good or bad, I don't really care. If they think nice of me, well of me, I'm very happy. More. But if they feel indifferent or they don't like me, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. I have also like learned to be this kind of the mentality is like, my intention is good. If I'm trying to maliciously trying to say something to trigger people or hurt people, and I get some backlash out of that, that's on me. But if my intention is right, just to say like my opinion or trying to say something which might help somebody, and it might come off wrong, but I'm being myself more, then whatever happens is up to them how they take it. Like it depends on tone and timing also, and what people are going through. So ngara gachi no middle up ta, and if some people are you know, not taking the right way more. It's on them because if my intention was bad and they do it, then it's on me. But so that's how I look at it.
Mm. Sometimes I feel like, so what if you swear?
Yeah, so what?
I feel like,
So what?
so what if you swear, as long as like you are true to Kashlo. You're promoting kindness. You're promoting not lying, not cheating. Basics.
Yeah.
Basics.
Mhm.
You're promoting being a decent human being. I feel like swearing sometimes kind of falls in the same realm as tattoos and aesthetics.
Mm.
Aesthetics. You judge someone as being good or bad
Yeah.
by the aesthetics or the outer thing, but actually, what really makes you, what kind of a person you are, is really based on your internal values.
Yeah.
And something like swearing has nothing to do with that, actually.
It's just looking at the surface, mate. So
Yeah.
I always see this. I always say this as a joke, but it's also like it's like a motto. It's like saura simi.
Yeah.
Simi de pokul gutaruro.
But
You don't eat the skin.
but a lot of us forget that. We focus so much
Yeah,
on
but then you look inward
aesthetics.
there. You look, you
Yeah.
reflection. Getting older, that's what you realize. You reflect a lot.
Better look in the mirror.
It's not, no, don't look in the mirror. Look inward. Looking in the mirror is still looking at external self.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you said like, okay, you can let it go if somebody just doesn't like you. You know, you'll accept the
No,
backlash if it was on you.
yeah.
So, my follow-up question is, how did you get there? Were you always rooted in like, because when you were younger and you say that, I don't care what you say, I am who I am. Like, there's a little bit of that youth
Yeah.
ego
Yeah.
that when we're young, like our ego and like, I don't care, like I'm who I am. You have more of this attitude when you're younger, but as you get older, like you're saying, oh, I realize like older people, younger people watch this. You come into your responsibilities. Um, but did you always have this like, I lean on myself to draw my worth?
Yeah.
Or like, I need you to approve of me so I can feel worthy.
Yeah, I hammered the unity, but now it's more of my actions. Like right now, I'm very goal driven.
Okay.
I think I've always been goal driven, but no, I've never realized that. So like when I talk to people, I realize not everyone is goal driven. Like when I was in let's put it simply, which everyone can relate. Okay, when I was in class 7, I said before high school, girlfriend Chigo.
That's your goal.
That was my shitty goal, but it's a goal, and anyone can relate to that. Girlfriend Shigoni. Okay, like small things like that. And at class 12, the plain chiminchi pass thing go repeat maybe, like that. And then when you get older, the goals get a little bigger, more what you call meaningful rather than that. It's meaningful, but a little bit silly. So like Anime Depta is like I really don't care what people say right now, but when I reach my goal, I want to feel good about myself. So like growing up, like content was not really a popular thing. Right now, it's a popular thing. Wow, you're seeing the boom and everything. So I always said I wanted to do content, whether it be films, whether it be anything, YouTube, short films, music videos, anything. I want to creating any do what like itch. So when I was that, not everyone would get on the same page. Saying I'm being silly or it's unrealistic.
You're being unserious.
Unserious, exactly. That's what got me here. Okay. So, anyways, so Ngara, I was like, you know what? I see something in it, and I see a lot of value, and they don't see it right now, but eventually they'll see it. But when they see it, I don't care because you didn't see it when I saw it. So right now, like I'm in a position where I am enjoying the journey so much. I don't really care about the destination. So it's like you're human. Some people might hate what I do or hate my existence or get you more. It would be like, yeah, it's not pleasant. You don't want to hate it, but it doesn't really matter because it's ultimately how you feel about yourself. And sometimes you might go against your principles and your morals to make other people happy, and it makes you feel a little bit. Am I really, I'm making them happy, but at what expense, like you said. So now I just feel like I weigh the options. I'm very selfish. I'm like, I don't care what people think. This is what I think, and I think I'm right, and I'll do it. And that's good to a certain extent, but you're also being selfish and irresponsible. With some people might take it the wrong way.
Yeah,
because
like
you're on
2 years
camera.
ago,
Yeah.
that comment
Always
that
going
you
back
made.
but now it's like a little bit of that, but a little bit of more in depth looking back at it. No, so do what you follow your truth, and then if some people think you're going the wrong way, you take it more and you try to reflect what they said. Is it coming from what kind of place? Then you say like, okay, it might be something to benefit myself, or is it just their own agenda? Then you move on, but mainly just follow your own path. Right? I take people's opinions in consideration, but most likely I listen to myself, and I think I can judge my own what you call judgment there more often than not.
There's a lot of resilience,
Yeah.
mental
Yeah,
resilience
I would
in
agree.
your attitude, your worldview, and like how you respond to life. You were interested in something that there was a lot of outside noise
Yeah.
that was like, no, don't do this. This is not a good path. But being goal driven is something that pushed you. Also, your ability to drown out that outside noise and listen to your own inner voice, like I really want to do this. I don't care what you guys say. I believe in myself. And then you worked hard. You know, kept on keeping on until you got here. Now you have something to show for it. So yeah, so you're just like this. Would you say that, you know, your family upbringing, like things like that, also, like, you know, contributed to how you are? Obviously you're a creative person, but did you also have like that encouragement at home to, you know, do what you want, or there was there pressure to follow a certain path?
So yes and yes. So it was like follow this path because this is the most realistically beneficial to yourself, and that's what we want, which is coming from a good point. But also when I was trying to follow that path of my parents and expectations and society, it didn't feed my soul.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It didn't feed my
Feed
soul.
my soul.
Easy. I did the 9 to 5 corporate job. I did the abroad thing.
Norla said the same thing.
You know, that's why me and Nola get along. We relate me what they. Even though we talk a lot, sometimes we don't talk about the deep stuff. We get each other, and that's why it works me with the balance. See. So I tried everything. Like I tried the 9 to 5 job. I tried to work abroad. I tried to do the corporate thing, go 9 to 5. Then I said, you know what? I always wanted to do career in content full time and bet on myself, which is very difficult. Bet on yourself because there's so much things which can go wrong, but then you're afraid of that. No, I said, just give it a go, and then you can 100% no restrictions, freedom to do yourself, and then let's see where it goes. And so when I'm going back to the point, my family support system was like, you can do what you want if you really feel like you want to do it. We think it might not go well, but if you want to do it, you better give it your 100%. No half, halving this. You gotta give full. So I need that really kind of give it to me. Like, just give a little background. So I was working in Japan.
What were you doing in Japan?
It's like a whole another podcast, okay? But I'll give you like bite size. I went there to study language and work along with that. And after the language course, you could do full time job in Bali. But it wasn't guaranteed to work hard. So I did that. I said, you know what? I'm a lazy guy. I need to go to Japan. You know, bust my bottom a little bit. See where that goes. And it taught me a lot of discipline. And what I realized was discipline is very hard to maintain. So once I finished that Japanese course, I got a job, and I was really proud of myself because that's what I came out for. Like I said, goals, you know. So when I got there, I worked my 9 to 5. Again, I got to 9 to 5 where I was working part-time jobs till then. So blue collar, very hard labor stuff. Now I'm in office. What I realized was I'm still working hard here, but now it's mentally exhausting. Before it was physically also exhausting. If I can just give 50% of that effort over here in Japan, if I can take it to my content dreams, I think I can achieve something. So when I came back here, a little distracted for a short period of time. Then when I finally said I'll bet on myself, I said, now let's put that 50% which you said you'll put. And if you can, let's go 100, but let's be realistic. Let's try to put 50 because you're in your comfort of your own home. Not much drive comes. And then you get to a certain point where consistency, discipline, and all pays off. And also how to say it? Like you said, resiliency, And resiliency comes through suffering. That's one thing people don't remind you. Suffering is a huge part of success, whatever we call it. Whatever the success means to you. If you don't suffer, then you'll not be successful. So I learned when I was in my early 20s that suffering is essential. If you want to get to a goal and you don't suffer more, you're not going to be successful. So you have to suffer, then you have to question yourself, is it worth suffering? And most people say, no.
It sounds like you're suffering in Japan, which is like the country, one of those countries with the reputation of having one of the worst working hours in the world. That word salary man, just living for a salary and then one day you die, like that. I feel like that probably like fueled you even more to carve a path for yourself that was not like imposed on you, right?
Yeah. I think it relates to everyone, like especially our fellow Bhutanese who are working abroad in Australia. They're working for a goal, but in that process they're suffering, which is great to a certain extent, but it's also not sustainable. Like I had friends in Japan when you were living there, they worked 7 days a week.
days.
7 days a week. And those who understand Japanese, we used to call it mainichi, which means every day. Mainichi na. So what they thought was I can work 7 days a week for a year or two, then save up money and finally relax. But by that time, what happens is burnout, mental strain, physical wudu, then desire, everything is gone.
Mm.
So that's also hard to maintain.
Mm.
So instead of working for like a 2 year long goal, what I thought was I tried also that 7 days. It was my God.
I
Woo!
only imagine.
Okay, so I said, let's dial it back because I don't have that much energy as compared to other people. Like hard work beats there's people who can work harder than me. Momora. So what I said is let's find a balance. So I started working 4 days a week because I needed those 3 days to like at least have time for me time. Me time is very valuable. So for me time is very valuable. So you need to balance me with it. So now instead of like how I do it is I don't live a year on goals. I do a week goal. So a week. So let's say on Monday, no nonsense. Okay, you wake up on time, you do your laundry, you do your necessary work, whether it be your 9 to 5 or your personal side hustles or your business, whatever it is. Then, if you have worked hard enough, by the end of the week, you can treat yourself to something. So that could be a night out with your friends, or maybe a game, or a movie, or whatever it could be. So that's how I look at it. So, like for example, I'll give it to how I look at it. Like for me, my upload schedule is Friday. By hook or crook, I have to make an episode by Friday. So let's say if I'm being lazy and I don't have an episode by Friday, then by Wednesday I have to shoot an episode. So I have to do whatever means necessary to get that episode done. And another factor is I have to go to the gym at least 3 times a week. And then if I shoot an episode, go to the gym 3 times a week, upload by Friday, then I can earn a drink at Saturday. Reward system. And then by Monday, reset.
Contract with yourself.
Yeah. So it's a balance.
Keeping yourself
in check, yeah.
accountable.
So you do with what's necessary. So the podcast for me is my job and also my creative expression. So there's two things it fulfills. Then the gym is self-wellness, and the other laundry and all stuff is also self-discipline and also maintenance. And then on Saturday, Sunday, which I learned from Japan, is work hard, play hard.
So this it sounds like you have a really balanced approach.
Yeah.
You have this contract with yourself.
Yeah.
Like you discipline yourself, but then like you're not killing yourself
Not yet.
with giving yourself such high demands. Does that help you from like your podcast, which started as something that you love,
Yeah.
is keeping that from becoming a chore
Yeah.
and now like a burden?
Yeah. But then sometimes it happens.
It feels like a burden sometimes.
Sometimes. I'll be honest. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm enjoying the process. That's what I'm saying. So, it's so cliche. I've said it a few times before, but it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. Stop and smell the roses. So, Ngagi, since I've always been a creative person, okay, this happens in my podcast. Since I'm a creative person, in energy, I love everything about it. I love, finding guests which would be good for the pod, making the thumbnails, editing, making the ads.
Oh, you do all of that.
Now
I thought you had. I heard you had an editor.
Now I have an editor, but I work very closely with my editor. Like thumbnail, I tell them what caption gonna, what parts to clip, what parts as a background, okay, or like what ad to put, like how to make the ad, and like what kind of all that stuff. Okay, and then so I enjoy all the process, and even when I'm like like talking, I like talking in general, listening to people, conversations. I always say people are human books. Everyone has a story I want to listen to.
Do you listen to my podcast?
Yeah, well.
Sure.
Yeah, I've listened to, but to be honest, full 100 from top to bottom, I only listened to maybe one, but the rest I've listened to like parts of it. Okay, I've seen you do the gong tong with Philippines, so no gong man, imo gong.
This was like hima man.
Gong bilgi. The Norlagi, he likes to be funny ki parte, delega shlonga. Atupanju kita.
He's seen the snippets.
No, atupanju kita stay. But then, like I said, for me also, I have a low attention span. Like right now, the ADHD people, this is a new thing, man. I had ADHD before ADHD was cool. So, like sometimes like there's 50 tabs in my head open. I cannot
Yeah.
concentrate. No.
Yeah.
So it depends on how I
She
can sleep on it.
diagnosed in ADHD.
Self-diagnosed. Self-diagnosed. Like I told you, I'm a pseudo behavioral scientist. Okay. So Rana, you have to do your own self-diagnosation. What's the word is that?
Actually, you should not. It's not responsible from the mental health
It's
angle.
okay, but in mental health also
Yeah.
very subjective. You
True.
can go to one guy and says you're okay, one guy not so much. It depends. So
Yeah.
rather I listen to my own opinion. I know myself better than the therapist knows me. 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not everyone, but
Not everyone, but at least in my own opinion.
yeah. I guess as long as you're careful to like not put yourself in a box.
Yeah.
Because like labels can help because it can help you identify something.
Yeah.
Oh, ADHD, or I have a short attention span. I need risk to do this makes my life harder in whatever ways.
Yeah.
But then that can become like your whole identity and then
No,
start like
no.
boxing you in and
Yeah,
limiting you, So
I agree with that.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
just like just need to, like I said, I like this self-discovery path.
Yeah. Yes, I love that for you
Anime.
too.
These days when things are comfortable, you don't really look inward, you look outward. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, what am I going to wear? What am I going to do this week for fun? What am I
Yeah.
going to buy?
Yeah.
How I want people to look at me. These are very like things which are external. So these I think happens for everyone when they're in a position of comfort.
Yes.
So ngadi, when I was living in Japan, and my life was basically wake up, go to language class, work for 8 hours, come back home, prepare for the next day, sleep on repeat. And then you have long hours when you're working in those places to think and reflect. It's because you're just doing the same thing over and over again. So Anivdipta, your idle mind's is devil's playground, they say, in a workshop, whatever. So you start to think a lot. So when I had those long hours, 40-hour weeks, thinking by myself, then you start to reflect on yourself, like what kind of person are you? What is your issues? What are your good parts? What are your bad
What
parts?
kind of person are you?
I think free spirit. Before I'll be like, if someone came to me and said, "You're this kind of person," and I'm more easily triggered. Now you say men are not emotional, men are emotional. Do you know why?
Super,
You know
even
why?
more so.
You know what emotion is more easily acceptable? Anger.
Yeah.
Anger. Men are more angry than women.
You're encouraged to be more angry.
Yeah,
as
I'm
well.
engaged to be more angry. So, like I said, like ego hurt was. So at least in that past, when I came back, my two senses that even in spiritual teachings, the death of the ego and the touch, and then you escape samsara and sangyo. Obviously, it's very difficult, but I'm trying to detach more and more of the ego and the self. So right now I'm trying to get to the point where if someone comes and punches me in the face, I'm like, but it's hard to get there.
Yeah, why?
It's hard to
It
get
takes work. You talked about men being more angry, no? I have this theory that like as men and women we are conditioned, right? Like so men are allowed to be angry, men are allowed to be aggressive, competitive. Women are not allowed to be like that.
Yeah.
You have to be soft,
Yes,
you always have to be polite. Then men are not allowed to cry. Don't be like a girl, right?
Yeah.
But women, like, you're supposed to chatter with each other, you're supposed to cry, you're supposed to be nurturing. No, I feel like my theory is one impact or consequence of that is when boys bully and like fight. It's like you fight, but then once you get physical, like you're kind of done and you don't hold that grudge. But women, like, it's
foster and
dwell and it's
grow
I think that's
and
more
linger.
It's more insidious.
In there.
Tell me, like, girls, how do girls bully others? Not physically,
Cold water.
but social exclusion, spreading rumors, being so sweet on your face, but then will ruin your life behind your back. I think like that is more insidious than, the physical violence. And then like with guys, like you're not allowed to cry. And then a lot of them end up with high rates of suicide. It's dark, man. It's bad.
Both extremes are bad.
We'll see.
But I think we should be allowed to express ourselves. Like some men may be having more feminine energy, and some girls might be having more masculine energy. And you should be free to express yourself, to say that it's okay for women to get angry. Don't care about whether they think you're being, a difficult person. which women are they don't want to be that person in the group. And men also, it's okay if you're feeling bad. Let's say the talk. Let's say if you're having a more crappy day, talk about it. It's okay. I think anime we make it a safe space for everyone to share as women.
Well, I mean, with mental health, it's like one of the biggest messages of mental health management is emotions aren't ugly. Whether it's a nice feeling emotion like excitement or joy, or like the not so nice ones like feeling depressed or angry, right? Emotions aren't ugly, they're all neutral. Behaviors are ugly.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So you're allowed to be angry because you're human,
Yes.
but you're not allowed to be destructive with your anger. That is your responsibility. So, yeah, I guess that's what this podcast tries to promote. But, anyways, we're going off on a
Be
tangent.
angry, but just don't show it on the signboard.
There are ways to manage your anger that are healthier.
anger
So it's all about like find positive coping tools. So, anyways,
Drugs.
anyways, I want to talk about podcasting.
Okay, why not?
For me, of course, Namge, I think Namge was the first podcaster in
Yeah, I think
Bhutan,
so.
but Namge does so many things. So Namge doesn't take out like an episode like all the time continuously. I think it's a little bit more different for you and me. So from that angle, I feel like you are one of the main, like first, you're a pioneer in the
Thanks, man.
podcasting field. And one thing I want to do is, I know we have banter back and forth more, like we joke a lot, we fight a lot, but then I feel like in this episode it's really important to talk openly about supporting each other and about I don't know, I just love podcasts. I don't like talk shows. I think there is a difference. And I get triggered when I get accused of being a talk show and an interviewer. I don't think I'm an interviewer or a talk show host. I'm a podcaster and I have conversations, and that's really different for me. And that's like a hard like evolution, as like sometimes there are guests that I feel like I do have to interview. I do have to do research on you, and it's like it makes me question like, so what am I? And like what does it mean to be a podcaster? I think this is a really important field in Bhutan because I think it shows a raw side of Bhutanese that wasn't there before.
Okay.
Because talk shows, I think, are more staged.
Yeah.
They are more staged, right? And when you're more like the more staged you are, the less raw and real you are. And I love this thing that the internet and YouTube has done about allowing people to show this raw side. I think it's important to support each other. I have seen you post once, and it's something that I've been saying for years about, like Korea, it was their national level policy to export their culture. And now they're making billions of dollars annually exporting their culture. Why can't we do that? I don't think we can go to the level of them.
I think we can.
You think we can go?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm interested for you to say more. But I always felt that we already do have a certain level of influence in the Himalayan areas.
Yeah.
Perhaps because we're like an independent country as well, like Somongchin, right? Like how
So big.
popular he is. Like it's amazing. He's got fans in Ladakh. Onam Kalama has so many fans in Sikkim, like the Arunachal and all. I think it's so beautiful. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow, that's a long essay type question. Set to give answer, man.
That's my
set.
reputation only. She asked 20 mark
Yeah.
questions.
20 mark questions in there. Set 1 and set 2, man. Set 2 I shall go for now.
But it's not a question, it's a conversation.
It's a conversation, but a lot to dive in, a lot to unpack. Okay. So, okay, first of all, let's start with podcasting though. So podcasts love the more. Like I said, I love the whole process of it. So when I wanted to know more about podcasting before I wanted to pursue it, or as a fan, I want to know what it meant. So podcast comes from the word shega. I love giving fun facts. It started from iPods.
Ah,
Yeah,
really?
some iPods. And iPods had an app called Podcast. And what's podcast? It was basically broadcasting on iPod. So anything they could broadcast. Anything. So again, when you take on the word podcast, broadcast. What was broadcast? It was it was a casting of the news in a broad sphere. Oh,
Disseminating.
broadcast. Then telecast, how go? It's casting from television. So it comes from all these words and words. So when you say a podcast, no, it doesn't mean it has to be like Chatanga sitting down, talk with lights, camera. It can be audio form. It can be true crime series. It can be self wellness. It can be life advice. So there's so very broad idea and also freedom of expression. Like some in my podcast, I can swear. Over here is a little bit more down to what the deep level. So there's so many like what do you call it's very diverse on how you can do it. And some you can do it in a talk show format also, like more stage and more present. So when you think about that, and when you said about like stage gikole, when I wanted to start, I wanted it because I wanted some genuine conversation. I want the both two people to talk. I don't want two people to make question answer. I'll give you questions beforehand. You know it.
Scripted.
Oh, okay, and not like stage like okay, you better tell that and all. You can to a certain extent, and I also like I said why I swear and why I like crossing my legs and wearing Tom Kenja and then not saying Lala Juju is when you do that you restrict a lot of honesty.
Yes, formality culture.
Formality culture, which I don't say is bad. It's great that we're very trying to be very rooted in like in the like sometimes when you meet foreigners and they just dear Hindus. So so certain point like being polite is a nice attribute. Being respectful is a great attribute, but also like when you're sitting with your friend, like first time you meet somebody, you're like Kuzambo, lala juju mo, then you get to know them. If you like them, genuinely want to talk with them, you forget all that.
The walls
You
come
down. That's nice for them. I like connecting on that level, and that's the human level I want to connect on. And that's podcasting has allowed me to do that. So it hit a lot of check marks. I can be creative. I can be myself. I can have a genuine conversation and like learn something new. So a lot of benefits towards it. And then the things which comes from that, the what do you call the cons from that is maybe some people don't like you. You say something which will trigger people. You get some backlash. You get some hate. But the what do you call the good outweighs the bad immensely. No. So I need why I got into it and why podcast is great also. And you're seeing how you can go from the future of the like just like how you mentioned examples like Wang Chen and all more. Sometimes what do you call art transcends language and everything. But podcasting for right now, actually, if you don't understand Zongha, it's no point trying to appeal people with let's say in Latvia. No, they're not gonna get it. So language also plays a role. But I think if we can cater, let's say, what's the word now? The creative industry to cater to a broad audience, you can there. Like Nagia and yours also, I'm pretty sure there must be some portion of the audience who are watching who are not Bhutanese and who are living outside of Bhutan. There has to be because you're speaking also in English manner. As much as I'm speaking in Zonka in English, I thought I only appeal to Bhutanese, but somehow some people are coming up and saying,
what are your stats?
Very minimal, but there's also like let's say 5% of people who are not Bhutanese watching my content, and they're like, "How are you watching?" I'm asking them. I say, "Your parts when you speak in English, I'm trying to grasp, and in between the parts, I'm just trying to get it." So there's a spot. So like I feel like the number two things you can tap into if you want to broaden the appeal is movies and music. And these days, movies is stripping down because of attention span, production quality. So TikTok content creators, let's say you find someone who's very charismatic, huge personality, who speaks in English. I'm guaranteeing you that person is gonna be very popular anywhere in the world, not just in Bhutan. You can do that. And then music is very easy because everyone loves listening to music. Like I love listening to K-pop. I can barely understand 30% of it. No, but they know how to do it because it sounds catchy. The visuals are on point. They've manufactured, they've commercialized that industry so well. And if we can invest also a certain portion of our what you call country's budget, because economy is important. Right now Korea's number one thing, like you said, is soft power, and the soft power is K-pop and K-drama. And they do so damn good at it. And then some people might not consider it art or commercial, but I consider it also an business. As a business, it's an art to get to the T. Like this is what you want to hit. This is how many seconds of screen time. This is how we want the center girl to look like, what outfit she's wearing, how her makeup is looking, her highlights on her hair, how long the song is, her parts are. I think that's also an art, which it's a great craft you want to get good at, and in the end you get the economy. you know, to bring up. So I think that's why I see the future in the artistic community, you know. Like I was speaking to there was this Yogi, shout out to Singh, he's Yogi Chilip ballet teacher in I think National Perry School or something, and we were talking about like how the artistic, you know, what you call crafts, whatever you call it, we can use it to expand our economy in the country compared to let's say sports. Like right now, Bhutan football has grown a lot from let's say 2000 to 2026, 20 years. Grown a lot from Teokoko and rocky fields to turf and people playing outside of Bhutan in national leagues. Improvement is there immensely, but not that crazy great. Now let's put into perspective, let's say Korea in the 1990s, which had no K-drama and K-pop industry, to let's say around 2010, where like Big Bang were at the peak. They invested the same amount of time, but it went a lot more. Obviously, they had more budget and they had more tools to do it. But let's say you give, let's say 10 to 20 years, government gives funding to let's say make two K-pop bands, no, B-pop bands, and two B-dramas, but put a lot of effort in terms of casting and execution writing. You think we can do something about it? I'm sure we can.
So you think there's B dramas and B pop that can also go that far?
Yeah, why?
Kind of like same
Yeah.
like Korea ki
Look,
model.
Wang Chen is an independent artist. He has no label. He has no what do you call team behind him. Maybe he has, but he's
It's
in charge.
raw talent and consistency.
And so if he can tap into audiences in Nepal and Ladakh, you know, and Northeast India.
But do we have enough Somong Chins in this country?
Yeah, for sure. If you can train and nurture them, I'm sure 100% sure. Right now, our B-pop industry is all community driven.
Yeah.
There's no labels. There's no labels.
Yeah.
Think about it. Name one label. There's no labels. All independent artists and filmmakers also all independent.
What about
all
these,
independent?
what about like Bayul and Rebellions?
This is
and
all
that?
independent.
Independent.
They're all Where was their label? Name their label. Bayul is all my friends. They live in apartments in
They live at Junor Studios.
in an apartment, and then they just meet together and say, "Chapter Chizonna, online Joe, chapter say, put some vocals on it, make some music video and release it." That's creating from the community itself. Now let's say, okay, I start a label, okay, Saipod label or whatever, Cheong Sai label, Saiji, okay, whatever, Saiji, okay, Saiji Entertainment, okay,
No.
okay, and I say audition, okay, country whole country will go to Zongkak. I'll put in, let's say, a lot of money, 50 lakhs, example, okay, find a team to recruit, stage. We do a nationwide audition. We select, let's say, 50 girls or 50 boys, 50-50 each. We put them in a house, train them every day for 5 years. You think they are not going to be good? You think they're not going to be good? If you do the same way we do a football academy, if you can find 50 boys, 50 girls, put them in a house, do rigorous training, okay, put some plastic surgery on top of that, all more. And dance classes, you think you cannot get to one point where they're damn good and we can tap into a big audience here in 5 years, Jamchi? Give me 50 lakhs. Okay, government.
I don't know, Sai, because I feel like the model you're talking about is Korea's exact model.
Yeah, they're doing a damn good job.
Yes, but these people are like the Japanese in many ways in their hardworking
you don't have
culture.
To do that. What do you call toxic? We can. I'll tell you one thing. It's a necessary evil because Bhutanese, we are very laid back, and I can tell you this.
We need to take it up a notch.
Yeah, because I can tell you as a personal perspective, I was raised and born here, and I lived here lazy and unmotivated, and education and healthcare was free. Then when I went to Japan, guess what? Everyone works hard. Healthcare you have to pay for, fees you have to pay for. It puts you in perspective that you were not working as hard as you should have. I was Goldilocks. I stayed in the soft bed too long. I got stuck in the hard bed. It's very difficult to adapt. So I think at an early age, if you can make people work hard, then in adulthood comes, it's easier. Rather than living a very privileged and soft life, and finally adversity comes more. Then you do not handle it. I was never used to this. It was always easy. Exactly. It was always easy. Like I can tell you from another example. It's like this episode is coming out today, which will not come out when this comes out. But I interviewed Yishoren, Space Ishe.
Yeah, scientist Ishe.
Yeah. I think she came here.
She's a Bell Soup also. Oh, nice. She's supposed to come here soon.
I think she'll come. You can talk to her. She's whole Bhutan topper in class 10 birthday. And I tried to dissect how her thought process was. And she's saying she's always the topper and the smart kid in school, and she always had to live up to that expectation. So finally, when she had her first like shortcoming or failure, it was almost
It was so hard.
it was like
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
was over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like so, like you need to deal with failure and suffering from an early point and get used to it because that's part of life. Remember that, isn't it? Huh? It's not always rainbows and sunshine, man. It's you have to go through the rain and the mud, and I think you do it hand in hand. Not only mud, not only sunshine. So, like I'm saying, like let's say we take 50 so K-pop, so B-pop trainees, okay?
This
We make them work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, but after 9 p.m. till midnight, let them, relax and enjoy a bit. No, not like we're gonna ban your phones, no boyfriends, no
You
girlfriends,
lock
no
them in the
friends,
dorms.
no
No,
lock.
the
I'll teach you
K-pop
that.
industry is brutal, man.
I
Come
know.
on.
So I need that. You take the good parts, you leave the bad, and then you take our good parts and leave the bad. Make a nice fusion. Take the kimchi and mix it with emadatsi. Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical because I also find like the K-pop industry, what they have exported, very toxic. Their fandoms are insane.
Yeah. Very
The
commercial.
K-pop, like the K industry actors and actresses, like they're full-blown adults, but they're treated like children.
Yeah.
There's the expectation for them to be perfect. There's extremely high rates of suicide.
Yeah.
So I don't like the
But
fandom and the
let's not look
industry.
at it very black and white.
No, no, okay. But like I absolutely agree with you on we need to work harder. We need to, not be so entitled. We need to stop being laid back and lazy, and like I absolutely agree with you. But I'm very and what I like about Korea is that they did export their soft power and they did it very successfully, but I'm not sure about how they did it. So I feel like for me, I believe in podcasts. I believe in our podcast. I feel like our podcasts are one way to demonstrate to the world who we are as Bhutanese.
Yeah.
And actually, not even looking outside of the country. Come on, man. When we were young, we had to watch like American media. We had to watch Korean media because there wasn't really any Bhutanese media that we were into.
Not really. BBS na TV series only. Mitse.
Would you say that?
Mitse Tiger. What's it? Jiximo. Dungyel Tiger. Dungyel.
Yeah.
But then also like there's a lot of forms of media you can consume.
Yeah. Well, I grew up very globalized, so I was always like leaning towards more globalized
me too,
media.
me too.
So I found that media in Bhutan when I was growing up was very traditional. And I wanted something like more like in between. No, in between that
Yeah.
mixes global and Bhutanese,
yeah.
and I feel like that's the future of Bhutan.
Yeah.
There's a space for very traditional media, and it's very important. But then I feel like if you want to go global, it has to have elements of
exactly.
global, right?
Exactly.
And so, like, I feel like when you're right. There's so many different kinds of podcasts, but then what got me on podcasts is like that vibe of, oh, hey, just two friends talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Just two friends talking in their living room, and it's like all kinds of topics. It's whatever, nothing is staged. And I feel like in those kinds of settings, like you see a lot about like what a culture is.
Yeah.
And my personal hope is that if we are able to launch a soft power, whatever, I hope that podcasts play a role in it. I see like your podcast, my podcast, like I hope that we can play a role in it. There's responsibility there to like, like we're global. We're very global, but we don't forget who we are.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why BGMM, they brought me in because they wanted me to promote mindfulness, So that's where I am. I'm not sold on Saiji and that exact model, because I find them very toxic, man.
Let's do it. It's toxic, but I think I think of it this way.
Okay, so how can you do it but
Bhutanify.
Bhutanize? How do you Bhutanize it without the extreme toxicities that come with like the extreme plastic surgeries. Like they are grown as adults in their 30s and they're not allowed to have girlfriend and boyfriend. And if they do, they like the netizens like drive them to like suicidal situations sometimes. Like, come on, man, that's not a model we want to follow.
Yeah. But I'm not saying that's what I'm saying. You're taking all the dark parts and presenting only the dark parts.
Yeah,
No.
but then like it comes, that was never intended there.
So
But
if you
it,
try it out the way, we'll see. Like, okay, here's how I look at it. You have to break a few eggs to make an omelet. Okay? You have to break a few eggs to make an omelet. Okay, some people are gonna suffer when this happens, but more people are gonna be benefit, and that's more a pragmatic approach if you think about it, which is maybe good or bad. It's up to you. It's gonna benefit economy, the music industry. We can finally capitalize on it. A little bit of capitalism will go away. Socially, it will bring everyone together, and also culturally, people are going to be interested in what Bhutan has to offer. I think we've been a very, artistic kind of culture we have. I think we never really brought it up, but we do. Much Chamdusu are very unique. Our Bedra, Shungra, Riksa songs, I mean, genres come to do in a very different expression. If you go to a remote village or somewhere, they have their own type of music listen to, or what songs they sing when they're working in the Ari. So there's a lot of aspects you can take from that part. A lot of instruments, yang chin or drum and some songs, flute. Maybe take those parts, now maybe if you want to take a little balance, it doesn't have to be generic pop music. Maybe it can be soul music, something like a little bit alternative music, like Billie Eilish, something like that. Create some artists, but with nurturing and care. Right now, these artists which have done have done a lot of success, is they've done it on their own without any nurturing. They've learned that stuff all on YouTube. They try to mimic it. They didn't go for any formal vocal training. Now, let's say you give the vocal training they need. Let's say you give them the discipline they need. Wake up on time, the skincare they need. Those need them. Okay?
no plastic surgery.
No plastic surgery.
Oh,
Skincare.
it's a slippery slope.
Skincare, Gigi. And you tell them, give them mental advice. It's all not about looks, in dance classes. Okay?
Who is
Okay?
going to nurture these people? Bhutanese. Bhutanese?
Yes, Bhutanese people. And right now, if you cannot know how to do it, then like how we do it in sports, hire a foreign coach, foreign mentors, guide them the right way. No, DSP is doing a lot of stuff. Why can't they do that? Huh? I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but at least in my humble opinion and with my knowledge in whatever it takes to get to a certain point in career, and also watching like the Korean pop industry take off more or less, I'm right. It's just I haven't proven it yet. It'll work. It'll work. If football can be invested, I think we've invested in football like at least crores in football, and we've got to a stage where football has developed immensely, but we haven't broken into, let's say, a Asian Cup qualification or like a big cup competition victory. We've gotten to a certain extent saying that, yeah, we got there. Great. A lot of progress, but not really there. Put the same amount of money in creative industry more. I'm telling you, we'll get to a world tour, one group. I'm telling you, in 10 years.
Somongchen.
He's already doing it now. He's in US right now.
He is, right?
He's in US right now. He's in US right
he
now.
did it all on his own.
Independently, with no nurturing. Okay, nurturing of the family way, but no like packed label team. Look at the proof is in the pudding. Proof is in the pudding. Don't listen to me. Seeing is believing. Now let's say logically, you take that same investment, put it in creative industry, and you nurture them with the right values, not the toxic values. Let them, have friends. Let them not be treated like children. Let them have boyfriends. No, let them have a life outside of that. But also nurture them, saying that, hey, this is getting a little too out of hand. Come back here, and then classes, singing, vocal training, it's a managed way. And then you have people who are doing other external stuff, the business stuff, the ticketing, the what you call tour management, the marketing, the visuals, the music video. Right now, the artists have to do all that. They can't just focus on the art.
Okay, so I feel like Korea na like one of the reasons the toxic parts is because Kongi values like they've really been taken over by capitalism more. So that like profit over everything unaliving
yourself. Self exit.
아니 그치로 capitalism, right? And the other one is Confucianism,
Oh.
which is like societal harmony, group harmony, that value. But then it's extremism, yasnu bate, to the point where like the toll on your individual, like how much you can handle or not handle, the pressure of fame and money involved at that level more. So ngaji Bhutanese ki khatole, if we follow that like similar kind of model, what Bhutanese values can we bring to put barriers to that so that that wouldn't happen?
Maybe it'll be in the messaging. Let's say like Korean, because they're conservative, and you said Confucianism, whatever it may be, harmony, social harmony, giden le benigi, they will need to portray themselves because they're idols. No, they need to be idolized. So idol cannot have flaws.
You have to be
So you
perfect.
cannot,
It's
cannot make
ridiculous.
mistakes. Well spoken, well mannered. Can't have relationships which is stigma. They're trying to portray that message. So maybe same way message like that person is a little down to earth, respectful, but also can like be like like I'm here to say that be mindful. I got your plug now. Be mindful. Dembozu. So maybe let's say example, make a song called Dembozu.
Oh gosh.
Oh, good messaging there. Rather than saying I love you, achilu gang, achilu pang, achilu mecha, about Dembozu.
But come on, it's a lot of that in the Bhutanese music industry right now.
It's mainstream there. No one's there to nurture them, so they'll make whatever they'll make them whatever they want because that's what works. You put a pretty face on the screen and make her do dance covers of a very generic pop love song. You think that doesn't work? It works. That's why people keep doing it. People know what works, but they don't know why it works. So if you can figure it out, then it'll work. Like Steve Jobs said, no. If you keep giving people what they want more, they just want bigger horses. If there's no innovation for cars. You have to tell people what they want and change their perspectives. Humans are very, very impressionable people. You can shift their mindset. You can take them to the good side and the bad side. And you can open their minds also. But you can close it and feed them what you want also. Sounds in there.
But it's better to think for yourself than to be a sheep.
Yeah. But then you also become a little bit of a manipulative person when you do
side. Okay. We totally went off on a tangent.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what else we're
entertainment
supposed to
coming
talk
soon, okay?
about.
When I'm 40, I'll do it.
How old are you now? You're 35 right now.
No, I'm not 32.
How old are you?
32.
32.
32, yes.
Good age. Okay. What other question did I have now? I'm totally lost in this thing.
In why Saiji entertainment?
Saiji, man. Oh, I don't know. I'm like.
We have Junku Mi. Then what's his name? Jigme Hope.
What are you talking about?
The Bhutan boys. The Bhutan boys. BTS Bhutan boys.
Oh God. Okay. Okay, so fine. You're talking about like music and movies and all that, which you are involved in, but I'm most interested in podcasts.
Yeah.
So how do you see this unfolding for podcasts? Do you think we need more podcasts? Would you like to see more
I'd love
podcasts?
to see more podcasts.
Podcasts on what? And as a successful podcaster, what do you have to say for younger people who might want to start their own podcast?
Just start. Don't look for the perfection. Don't let perfect get in the way of good. People think podcast start being you need the nice setting, you need a nice camera, nice lighting. iPhone camera iPhone camera, Vivo phone, just to record audio. So start small, start simple, and the drive is there. Then you slowly upgrade, whether it be lighting or sound or decor or whatever. That's it. It doesn't have to be starting at the top. You get to the top. The journey is important to get there. And then secondly, also is like you said, always be authentic. So you can be authentically generic if you want. Also, that's you. You can be.
Be vanilla.
I love being vanilla. Fine, vanilla is my favorite ice cream flavor. Also, it doesn't matter. Be vanilla, but also know it's genuine. It's you.
Just be you.
Yeah, that's if it's vanilla. Be own vanilla. Fine, vanilla is fine. Secondly, also
consistent.
Consistency matters, but that's more of a mental thing. Do you really want it that bad?
Mm.
Some people want what they want, but they don't want whatever comes with it to get there.
That's me.
And like what's the call? If you want something you never had, you must do something you never did.
Yeah.
So you had to do that. So like one thing for me was the same, was like I wanted to have 100,000 YouTube subscribers. I still do. Now in order to get there, I need consistency, I need hard work, and I need to be trendy, all these factors. Now am I willing to am I willing to do that? Right now I'm still discovering it, but for now, yeah, let's do the necessary steps to see how far we get. But I'm also enjoying the process. I'm enjoying the 1K subs, the 2K subs,
Mm.
the 3K subs, what do
Okay,
you call
okay.
the 100 likes. Wait, I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay.
And also, Ani, what I always tell to people in the creative industry is I'm doing it because I like to create.
Mm.
Whether it be art, nonsense, whatever you call it, I like to create. It's fun. It gives me joy, fulfillment.
Mm.
Some people do it because they want the clout, they want the fame, they want the name. Love, not for the love of the game. so I so I think it's more successful if you do it for the love of the game.
Mm.
So if you have that mindset, like I don't care if I'm famous, so people recognize me and people want to take pictures, they want the autograph. If you don't care about that, if they just enjoy the content you create, that's much more fulfilling. But some people might want to do it. Like I said, if that's your vanilla to be famous and popular, okay, do it. But I feel like short-term success, long-term, it's not gonna feed you.
Oh, before you continue, I want to add on that. That's a mental health message, Sai.
Mama.
That's a mental health message. Because if you do it because you love it, you love to create, it's your love of the game, whatever, that's you're feeding your own soul, like you said. It's for your own you know, the joy of being alive, creating something, feeding your soul, or validating yourself. Because you love to create, you want to do something, right? But so then you are finding your well-being in yourself. But when you create for clout, which means you have to be approved by others,
Yeah.
if they love it, you're happy.
Yeah.
If they hate it,
Yeah,
you're
nah.
miserable. And
Yeah,
that's what's happening a lot in the K-pop, K industry.
yeah.
Too much of their worth is put in the netizens
Yeah.
who are insane, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So then when you put your well-being and your mental health in the hands of other people's log kya kahenge, then that's when it's risky. It's risky for your mental health.
But that's why
And
find
you
validation
say
in
you're
yourself.
not a mental health guy.
But Mashede, maybe I am without me realizing.
Eh,
Okay, Tuga. I also won't be stubborn. Maybe I am, but maybe I'm not. I don't know. Find out.
You don't look at it from that angle, but
Yeah,
it's a
maybe.
good message to send people.
Yeah, yeah. And then I think it's also like as I'm growing older, it's more fulfilling to give rather than to receive. So sometimes it's like Hemodi, when I was younger, let's say I'll do something nice or something good, and then I don't get the credit or the appreciation. These people, like, they don't even deserve it. Like, what's wrong with them? I'm just Legion baby. Can you create gratitude, thankfulness? I used to be like that. Now I'm like, did you do it because of that?
Yeah. What's your intention?
You did it just so you could get the credit, to get the appreciation. Then I said, okay, so if you want to do a selfless thing, it's like you do the good thing which you want to do, and then whether they like it or appreciate it or thank you, that's on them. You don't give them the power. You keep the power to yourself. Sometimes we, like you said, no, you do it, and then you do it with the intention of getting it back. So the power's on them. The ball's on their court. You give them something. Now, if they don't give you back, you're sad. But if you say, as long as I do this act or this gesture, and that much kira sem gaun chuno. Now, if they give it back, bonus.
Yes, bonus.
35% bonus. Okay,
That's the
35%
word.
bonus when you put it on National Day. Anzunde. That's what I feel now. Like, okay, leave it up in the air. You did. Because now you hold the power, whether how you want to take it.
Okay. Okay, so Sai, podcasting kole, what do you not like? So I'll tell you mine, what I don't like.
Okay.
Maybe this doesn't apply so much to your podcast, which is, about everything and nothing. And there's so much freedom in that. Ngaidi, because I started with the intention of, being in the mental health space, talking about mental health. Sometimes that's lakadumo. Because I have to participate. I have to be online. because that's where the audience is.
Yeah.
Everybody lives online now. If you're not online, you don't exist.
Does that matter?
For me, it matters
Okay.
because I was already doing this work, this advocacy stuff, but I was doing it offline. And I started this podcast to broadcast, to try to get like my advocacy work further, because the reach is more. And it's hard sometimes that I have to participate on platforms, social media algorithm that actually doesn't support the core message of my podcast. So, I have to go for likes if I want to sustain this in the long run. For that, then I need to start being entertaining. And I don't know if I did it for entertainment. It's just pure advocacy. And so all these questions are there now. But sometimes I need lakhadu. So, what do you not like sometimes about podcasting?
I think similar. You said feeding the machine, because now YouTube analytics are very good. They have this AI bot. You can ask them like, okay, how's the reception? What do you think I should do? And you're like, so last time I think we talked about it. It's like in content, whatever content may be, it's you have the core base and you have the casuals and you have someone in the middle. But it's basically one or the other. Like sometimes, let's say if I meet somebody on the street, they'll say they say I'm a fan of Cypod. I say, thank you. Like, which episode did you watch? They say they watched, let's say, the Rebellions podcast. And I know you're casual because they're very popular, and most likely you watch it because you like them.
Okay.
Example. And let's say you watched they said, yeah, you watched the podcast. Yeah, I watched every episode. Okay, which one did you watch? They say they watched this one with Priyanshu, this one with Dao Penstro, this one. Oh, you're a hardcore because you've named so many and you named very niche ones. Okay, so now you have to decide which one you have to cater to. So sometimes I like to feel like I said free ball it, or eyeball it. If anyone comes here, whether it be someone on the street or some very popular person, have a conversation, wrap it up, podcast title number chitsu, and episode number this with this. Simple, no bells and whistles. That will hardcores will watch it no matter what, whatever I do. But also the casuals, you miss out on the growth of the channel. You're not going to get to a broader audience. You're not going to get the broader appeal, which will make your channel grow. So if you want to do that, then you get someone really popular or someone really pretty who has really good, what they call clickability. Want to click because it's the clicks, thumbnail, catching, engaging. I divorced my cousin when I was 13 because of ... Why? You want to know why? Let's click. The clickbait. Like when you're walking down the street, okay, you mind your own business. You see two women fighting naked. No matter what you're doing, you're gonna stop and say, "What the hell's going on?" Right? So you need to also, figure that out. Also, so that's what feeding the machine is. You need to give what people want.
So what do you not like about that?
So that sometimes I have to, like, instead of catering to what I want, I have to cater to what they want.
You feel like a dancing monkey.
Yeah, you feel like a dancing monkey, and you have to balance.
That dance monkey dance feeling.
Yeah, monkey dance too. But then I'm trying to nurture it a little bit.
Okay.
Like, for example, this is my hot take, is like when you're on TikTok live, then you become more of a dance monkey because people throw gifts on the spot. On the spot, they throw gifts. So like, let's say, okay,
do this,
game
do that.
if you win, I'll throw you this, and this is worth this much. That's dance monkey. That's absolute dance monkey.
Yes.
Okay. But when you're doing like this, somewhat you're catering to a certain audience, broader appeal, but you're also being yourself.
Yeah.
You're not doing something necessarily exactly what they want to do, but something what they want to do.
TikTok namchi active minumo.
TikTok. What I try to use TikTok is I like to keep TikTok the trailer for the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I even started doing this thing where I didn't do it recently because I had to travel for work and all that. But then for a few episodes prior, I did live right before or as the episode was put up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Then I would just talk a little bit. Then people would start asking questions. And I did get some followers, and I think it did drive some engagement. But then nothing like the dancing monkeys.
So balance it. It's not, like you said, it's not black and white. It's gray. Yeah. So learn. Sometimes it's dark gray. Sometimes it's light gray. But it's never white and black. It's never
Yeah.
white and black. So
Yeah.
actually balance and some people they go a little too far off the spectrum.
Mm.
So in Atsichi, you need to know how to balance it. But then also it's fun. For me, it's fun to like know how to adjust,
Mm.
tweak here and there, things like that. But that's because like I said in the beginning, I like the whole process. I love this game.
Mm.
I
Mm.
love this game.
Okay, so now there's like on Bhutanese social media, okay,
Mhm.
and globally, and I think we're following a lot of the global trends. There's like I think a lot of great content. I
Yeah.
think music, movies, forms of art, right? Podcasting. I think these are good content,
Mhm.
although that can be debated as well. There's also a lot of trash content out there.
Yeah, it depends on what you subjective thing.
So I want to ask you, what is trash content for you?
Oh my
And
god.
as a content
Then I get
creator,
cancelled.
what do you think? Yeah, you give a you give your hot take on this, because Tame, like I'm always coming from the mental health angle, right? One thing for me is I can't even watch a movie anymore.
Because of attention span.
And when I used to watch movies before, it used to bring me joy. Forget reading.
Mm.
Can't even watch a movie, right?
Mhm.
So, like that brain rot.
Mhm.
Do you worry about brain
Yeah,
rot
well,
as a
oh,
content creator?
yes.
And what's your take on trash content
Yeah, I think brain rot is trash
in
content.
Bhutanese social media? Now, dancing is art.
Yeah.
Dancing takes skill and talent and hard work. And there will be a lot of people who also say, like, dancing is trash content as well, because you're
Yeah.
just always dancing when
Yeah.
the world's burning, right? Like, I mean, it's subjective. And there are many angles to look at it from that. But
Nagi, I don't like when people blatantly copy. Blatant copy is trash for me. And like example, like I won't name names, but I saw this two young kids on TikTok, basically covering all these trendy popular songs, and they're like not being genuine at all. 100% Control C,
singing.
Control V. Yeah, singing songs, covering songs, and they trying to come up with shows and wearing shades, just like the popular artists of now. So I need complete replication, but then again, imitation at a young age, it flatters them more. Anzu mege, but then they're young, so a little bit of what to do. Secondly, also is like, and we see it also. We see a lot of other people. We see a lot of people trying to imitate all the visual hooks and all. Because I know you all think I don't know. I'm a student, PhD in Zazuan game now. Not to blow my own horn. It's just I like to, like I said, like to research when you're really interested. So you can take off little things. Some people are really trying to be somebody. They're not. Anime, trash content. The secondly, I don't like when people like make the dance monkey content. To be honest,
That's the people who make the most amount of
they make
money.
like you get the bag, okay, slay queen or whatever, get the bag, but don't do it at expense of our own mental health way. Because I know a few people, like I said, I won't name names, but I can see it's taking effect on the mental health. Like you see them making a good amount of money on TikTok, but they're like shaving their head or putting water over their head, saying some crazy lines just to get attention. And then what attention? No, oh, I'm gonna get into that. So like I watched this interview with Logan Paul. Logan Paul is a very interesting character.
Yeah.
Logan Paul has been a creator for a long time.
Mm.
Now he's a wrestler. He was a singer, a boxer, a
You
vine
watch
creator.
Impulsive?
A little bit. It's pretty good, huh? Logan Paul. That's why I'm saying he is like Trump because you think he's an idiot, man. He was a straight A student in high school. He was a wrestler, like wrestling team, the captain. He was like got into good colleges also, and he loved making content. So he knew what works and what didn't work with it. So like you can look at his body of work. He's done great podcast, Impulsive. He's done a crypto scam, bad. He's done a great professional wrestling career, good. He's done a little controversial content like in Japan and the forest, But he's learned along the way, and what he's learned that is attention is currency. Attention is currency, my brother, in this day and age. Attention is currency. People people like to hate people. People love to love people. If you're indifferent, then it doesn't work. If you're indifferent, it doesn't work. Let's say we have subject A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C. Okay, Exhibit A is a lovable, gentle, kind soul. Everyone loves. Green flag, Bhutan's sweetheart. Okay, Nam's name is Jix. Okay, loved by all. Great. Subject 2, one Zamatoob character, but
Mm.
now something like chaotic. Everyone knows who this person
We
is.
have a few of those.
Oh, yeah, a few of those.
Mm.
Now something like, my God, this person more. That, and the third person is just neutral.
Mm.
I'm guaranteeing you, Exhibit C, no one gives a crap about them. Whether
Mm.
they die or they live or good thing happens,
Mm.
because they're boring.
Mm.
And boring, no one likes boring this day of age.
Mm.
But those two characters, you think they're different ends
Mm.
the pole, but they're same because they're gaining the same amount attention.
Doesn't matter if it's love
Yeah,
or hate.
yeah, like they same, and there's no good press or bad press. It's press. Like there's bad attention, good attention. Attention is attention.
Okay, so as somebody who says I'm concerned about brain rot as a content creator, that means you have to try to drive the market or algorithm towards the green flag,
Yeah,
not the red flag.
yeah, that's a little hard.
So what's your take on that? How do
So-
you do that?
Then you depend on your values and your morals. Now, let's say my goal is just to get as many subscribers and as much like popularity as possible. Then I'll use like rage bait or like like some really like controversial opinions, okay? And people are like, wow, did you hear what Sai said last time? He said this about that person. How could he do that? Exposing all the business about that. I could do that. So let's say example, okay, it's not whatever, this is on the top of my head. Okay, let's say I say, this Dasho had an affair with this high school kid, and I know because I saw it. People are gonna watch because it's so intriguing. Okay, and I know I have evidence. Here's a picture. It's AI doctored them together. That's gonna get attention, 100%. Okay, and that's gonna lead to likes, views, subscribers.
So then,
You can do that, but
yeah.
but depends on your intent and morals.
Intent and morals, but then again, the mental health angle. Mapalera, like, there's this thing about social media that brings out the worst of human instincts, Imbeba. And one of our naturally built instincts is negativity bias. It's your survival mechanism, actually, back from the days when we were in the caves and the forests and all that. Right? So if like a bush moves, and if you're like, I bet it's nothing, just the wind. And then like a predator comes out, you're finished. But if you have that anxiety, you're ready to fight or flight, then you're more likely to, survive. So we still have that, remember? We still have that. That's why like 5 compliments, 1 criticism, where does your mind focus on? The criticism. So that helped our survival before as a species. But now in the social media modern world, it's doing more damage, especially mentally. So there is this thing about social media that brings out your worst instincts. There's a reason that feel-good stories never go as viral as the horrible stuff.
Yes and yes. Yes, it's easier to rage bait people,
Yes.
but it's also like easy to get their attention by pulling the heartstrings. Let's say watching Indian Idol. A kid comes with only
Sad
one
backstory.
foot, with one foot only. Okay, he has 2 legs but only 1 foot, and he comes and he sings a damn Khatara Sonu Nigam song. He says, my parents abandoned me when I was a kid, and I was raised as a chaiwala, and now I've learned to sing under the street lights while I sleep on the floor. Oh, and he sings Khatara, and then everyone loves that. You can put on the heartstrings also with it.
That's true.
Camera face, man. But like that more. So you can do that. So, but again, what are you trying to do? No, you're trying to use that to get this, use that to get that. So there's, like I said, attention. You can take it here, you can take it there. Now it depends on how you want to take it. But I'm telling you, like, I'm not sure if this could be, because this is me blowing hot here. But since I know the tools to get to a certain point in career in content creation, if I use the evil tools, the dark arts, I can become significantly more popular. Significantly be more popular. You also could. You know some things you can do to get significantly more popular. But you're just like, wait, I'll draw the line here. I'm not going to do that. Mena.
So you're saying moral compass is everything.
But some people, they don't care about that line. They just want to get there. And it's okay. Maybe they have their own agenda. But I have my agenda also. And I'm like, I don't want to be that douchebag. I have my morals and principles. I don't want to look at my own content and say, look at what this guy's trying to do. He's not trying to be himself. I want to be myself. And if people like and come along the way, whether it be 500 people or 1,000 people or 10,000 people, then I like that. significantly more than rather than me trying to put on a front, trying to say just the things to get the attention and get a million subscribers. Because I know all of those people are just, along because they just got caught up with some nonsense I said, which is not me. So that's where I draw the line. If some people are saying, I'm okay, I'm gonna get this out of that, then you do you. But I'm telling you, that's on the path of self-destruction.
Yeah.
Last time I think I told you last time, then Netflix do the documentary on the manosphere.
Yep.
And then there are a lot of people who do like this, what they call very clickbait kind of topics, like women are pets, second-hand citizens.
Yes.
Men should dominate. And then that triggers both body.
Yep.
Men who want to listen, wait, I also want to be a man who dominates. And women also, how dare he said that? See, you're triggering both. And it gets attention, it gets clicks and likes. But then later on, maybe also it's a reflection of insecurity. And so women, if you're really secure, you will say something nice about other people and more. But if you're really insecure, you'll just try to poke holes at everyone else and then try to think, make some stuff. And that'll get attention. So it's a circle, it's a samsara of yidame.
Okay. It's brutal out there, man. It's so brutal out there.
It's okay.
So, okay, I guess we have to wrap up now.
Yeah, sorry, man. Yeah. On too long.
Sorry, no. I wish we could go on more, but this is a huge topic. But I guess I gotta wrap it up now.
I think I know where you're gonna go.
What?
I know, just go.
Guess.
Huh?
What was I gonna
You're
ask?
gonna talk about commitment. No, you're not gonna talk about.
Oh, thanks for reminding me. I forgot. I forgot.
What are we gonna talk about?
Okay.
At least.
I was gonna wrap it up and be like, so being on social media, which can be challenging for your mental health. How do you manage your mental stability? Let that be the final question. Second last question. Sai said that he's scared of commitment. Katsakanim. So, say more, Mr. Sai.
No, it's not just like commitment of the relationship. It's also like a TV series. Like, I'm also afraid to commit to a TV series because I know if I watch episode 1, I want to finish all the seasons. I'll start bitching because I'm like
obsessed.
I cannot half things. I cannot
you're extreme.
Not extreme, but like
intense.
If I start, I have to finish.
Yeah.
If I start, I have to finish. So like, if I want to do something, give it the best shot. That's my mentality. Then why even bother?
So if you meet the right person, what's wrong with that?
No, sometimes you meet, let's say, people in life, okay, and then you're like, I'm not ready to commit to this situation because I need to commit to this situation in my life, whether it be career or self-betterment or whatever. There's not much room for relationship because if you want to give relationship commitment, then you have to give it full. Okay, you have to think, okay, I don't look at this as a short-term thing or a situationship, or let's see where we can go from here. That seems like a long-term commitment. And sometimes when you're emotionally not available or mentally not ready.
So you're saying you're emotionally unavailable?
Yeah. Sometimes, but not all the time. Then in some situation, then you just end up disappointing the other person. So then it's like you are half-assing in this relationship where the person's full-assing it, and you cannot give 100% there because you're giving only 20 to 30% because 70% is giving somewhere else. And I don't want to do that because Rana se Shimidia making them sad because you're giving them false expectations and false hope. And less sounds on what. So that's what comes to me. But also in like in other parts, like let's say going to the gym, commitment. Before I was to hold back a lot because I say, if I go to the gym, I have to go 5 times or 3 times a week. Then I have to eat protein. I have to eat supplement. I have to sleep. I have to sacrifice on alcohol. Then I have to sacrifice on time with here. Big commitment.
Then you're blowing it up in your mind.
Yeah. So like but in that way you can because it's an individual relationship with yourself. You can maintain what you can give and take. But when it's with someone else, whether it be a business partner or a relationship or like it's your parents, you have to put their feelings also in consideration and their time.
So are you afraid of getting hurt? I think that's why most people are emotionally unavailable. You're scared that you will bring your walls down, be vulnerable, and they'll make a fool out of you. So you're scared of getting hurt, right?
That's also there.
And then like you also hurt others.
Yeah.
because you've been hurt before. I mean, like
Hurt
that.
people, hurt people.
Itewa. And there's another one. If you don't heal what hurt you, you'll bleed on people who didn't cut you, man. Remember?
Wow. What a
We
word.
keep repeating the patterns from our past in
Yeah.
Bebate. Like you take out on your new partner the baggage your old partner gave you, which has nothing to do with this person. They did nothing to you, but you bleed all over them because you never healed what that other person did to you.
Yeah.
So are you afraid of hurting others, or are you afraid of getting hurt? Both.
Both women are there. Both. And also like Anzumia, like I'm the kind of person that let's say you and I go for a hike, okay? And I fall down, scrape my knee. Kimi do, I can handle it. I'm a big boy. Okay. Now let's say I push you, I mistake, and then you scrape your knee. I feel worse because I made you feel hurt because of my actions. Right? I can take the pain, but I'm feeling bad that I made you, take the pain. So that is more painful than me getting hurt by somebody else. Me being responsible for my actions and my selfishness and making other people hurt. Anima Masichi, it dwells on longer than the other part, healing part. So like hard times can come, you can deal with it because you've been there before. But you being the reason why you hurt other person, now that's a little hard to deal with. A little hard to deal with. Anime, that's something I'm trying to work on. But also it's like, what now? It's their battle. But that's also being selfish, man. That's anime.
I don't know, man. I don't know enough about you or your history to
No, you don't know
gauge that.
But I'm just saying, generally speaking, Lavi, I don't like. I think it's worse in my opinion when you are the reason because you're being irresponsible that you make someone hurt. Now, whether it be friendship, a parent, or a partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, these are all different types of relationships which can be affected by your actions.
Yeah.
And
But Dharnabaya, it's a little more complicated, I guess, than before. Before, you just get married because you need more hands on the farm.
yeah.
So maybe sometimes nowadays, perhaps we think too much,
Yeah,
right?
Imbe.
But then at the same
Romanticizing
time,
it a little bit too much.
no, but you're also more intentional there.
Yeah, Imbe.
Like, for example, like if you don't have kids because you're like, I don't think I can commit to that, to parenthood, maybe you were more wise in a way than people who had kids just because it's time or for the sake of having kids, and they end up being terrible parents because they're actually not able to commit to parenthood, which is a huge lifetime commitment, right?
Exactly. That's
And
also there.
then that can create like
That's also-
issues for the child
long
growing
term.
up, not present parents, low.
And resentment also there. You deprived me of my youth when I was, when I was there, I had to raise you, and you have to give me a lot of resentment to the other person which they have no responsibility. Like, hey, Anchilage, I watched this podcast, okay, with this divorce lawyer.
I know who you're
James
talking
Sexton.
about. Yes.
Yeah, Qatar, watch damn Qatar guy. So he says this, okay, he says, when someone's going for, let's say, skydiving, okay, let's say you're going for skydiving, no, I'll say, wait, are you sure about it? It's very risky. Anything will happen. Are you prepared? Who's the guy you're going? Who's flying? What kind of parachute are you using? Right? But skydiving has like 8% or 2% fatality rate.
Okay.
So it's very unlikely that something's going to go wrong. But you're afraid because of the spectacle.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if someone gets married, okay, we say thank you, congratulations,
Yeah.
We never say, are you sure? Did you think about all aspects? Like, did you think what kind of person are they? Family, gazunduga, income? Did you think that?
Well, I've said it a few times. It was not well received.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If you
ask them that, they'll be like, how dare you? This piece of work. Someone told me, happiness. But statistically, divorces are like, I think almost 60% divorce rate generally, internationally. But we won't ask those questions, brother. Okay? And then parenthood, all finances, it's going to ruin your life.
Exactly.
But if you take that same energy and say, I'm not going to get married because I waited out, and instead I'll put all this energy that I have into myself, whether my career or wellness or helping others or a mission or a cause, that's going to reap more benefits statistically more than you giving to another person who might 60% end up very bad.
Okay, we're on the same page now. We're on the same page because, like, yes, on one hand, there's too much thinking and You feel like it was much simpler back then. But that's why there's a whole world with a lot of mental health problems.
And cook these.
Gila. Yeah, like, okay, like, I really feel like, okay, like, as a woman, like, I get asked, like, oh, you should be married, you should have a family and things like that. But where am I going to take a husband out of, man? Just because it's time and I'm that age, like, you
Exactly.
take a husband out of the bush and, start, like, having a lot of babies, And then the thing is, there are so many people who get married exactly because of that. It's the age to get married, you should have kids, and they do it, and then they're not really committed to monogamy, and then, like, sometimes they cheat,
Yeah.
and then it's like not a great home environment, and then what it does to kids. Dad
Exactly.
left, mom cheated, like, it's painful.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Don't worry, Tuga. I'm on your team. In China, they call people who are women who are above the age of 30 and not married are called leftover women.
Invest.
So I don't believe that. Like, even like me at 32, as a man, last year.
You also feel like a
No, I don't feel
leftover man.
leftover. No, I got options. Just kidding. I don't.
What?
Charles chip that they say like the nyenchani time remember na the amchime. Kajibe. Just because you're age, you're that age. No, you go when you're ready. That means it emotionally, psychologically, financially, which comes as a man. Like for you, maybe saying that you're
That's
ready
the
by
provider
age.
pressure
As a
conditioned
man,
into
it's
you
like,
as a man.
am I ready to be a husband or a father financially? Because if you do the maths, you need certain amount of X amount of money, women, to be a parent. So then also, like, if you can put that much money to a child, then you have to sacrifice a lot for yourself. So are you ready for that? Also, say the word. So I say timing is relative. You know when you're ready, not when society dictates you and when there's like Gregorian calendar got to
I mean, there's timing, but I think there's also, like, the person. Like, if someone sees, like, I think especially like a woman who's unmarried without children at a certain age, they think leftover, or she hates men, or she's one of those child frees. Like, I don't think I'm somebody who's so committed to, like, like, screw kids, they're a burden. I'm not like that. But I think, like, if you don't meet the right person, if you don't feel like, you know what, I can depend on this person to, like, tag team with me and see a kid through to college, whatever, if you don't feel that confidence, I think it's that as well. Sometimes you don't meet the right person, even if you are at the right time. Sometimes you do meet the right person, but it's not the right time for you, like with that financial provider. I still have to go for my studies situation, whatever. But that's one thing I like about our generation. We're not sticking so hard to these
boxes, yeah. But then again, on the other side of the spectrum, birth rate has declined 30% over the yeah, not even 30%, or more than 30%. In 1990, I read a statistic. 1990, no, there was 15,000 births, more, and in 2025 there was 5,000 births. So what's the percentage?
So the current key, what I read, I don't last year or so,
70% drop, yeah.
No, well, this is how I see it. To maintain the current population, and I read this on Kunsal, to maintain the current population, I, as a woman, need to have 3 children. Every woman needs to have 3 children.
Let's do it. Let
to
me make
maintain
9 children.
No, not even to increase the population, is to maintain. And I can't imagine doing that.
Yeah, but then again, why birth rate has gone down is because people want to be more, like, men want to live more of a single life, and women also want to be the boss. They don't want to be the traditional wife. But here's the question I'll ask you. Women also, I feel that now this is like also the man hitting culture here too, but that's like another story. Is a lot of check boxes. He needs to be this height. He needs to be making this much money. He needs to have this much family. Values are okay. Too many checkbox women.
Okay, allow me to respond.
No choice. Remember that. He needs to do this. He needs to look like that. He needs to do this. And do you feel like you have a lot of checkboxes?
I can't speak for all women.
But can you speak for yourself?
I can speak for myself.
Yeah, you have a lot of checkboxes.
And I don't want to be a boss babe. I would love to be a princess at home, which is how it used. But it wasn't like that before. I think like the divide between men and women is not good these days. I think we need to heal that shit. Um, I I think that there isn't enough communication and empathy for each other's sides, and things like social media increase the divide. For me personally, I'm an educated female, and
You want a man who's more educated than you or as educated as
no,
you.
ani the preference imbeba.
Yes.
Generally,
But that's a box.
tendency do women tend to date higher simbe.
Women look
Wo-
date up, men date down.
Yeah. So like women want to date men who are taller, who make more money, who are more educated. For me, I think these are not a big deal. I think that there is a lot of women. Now I don't need you to financially provide for me. So actually now there are women who are like, I need you to make this much money on Zoom. Do more. Ngai diniti, I make my own money, and I love my independence. That's what I love. I love my ability to have a life that if I had to financially depend on a man, I couldn't have that life.
Okay.
So I'm not willing to give that up. But I think women, what I want is like companionship. I want somebody to meet me emotionally. I want somebody to be emotionally available and meet me at my level of emotional intelligence. Or if you don't have that, are you willing to work with me to build your own emotional intelligence skills? Because that's the foundation of a stable relationship. And I feel that a lot of males struggle with that because that gap hasn't been filled for males. You're still expected to be strong, don't be vulnerable, be cool like that. And it's not good for relationships, actually. So I feel like asking for a kind person who doesn't lie, who doesn't cheat on you, who is emotionally intelligent and willing to participate fully in a monogamous relationship. I actually think that's the bare minimum to ask for.
That's the thing.
I don't need you to provide for me because I'm educated. I can provide for me as well.
The bar is very high. The bare minimum bar is very high. It's very high.
Are you saying that's high?
Yeah.
That's very sad
Pick
if
5.
that's high.
Pick 5. From 5, pick 3. Pick 3.
Don't cheat.
Okay, 1.
Share your emotions.
Fine, 2.
And participate, communicate.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
3.
So communicate and participate is the
I
same.
give you that.
Do him a two.
Okay. That now the man is broke and he's fat and ugly. Are you okay to accept these 2 flaws for these 3? For these 3 khatara and these 2 flaws, are you willing to accept?
I think it really depends on the
No, I'm saying
situation.
personally, you just right now with this base model we've built, are you willing to accept these 2 flaws for these 3?
Well, I can't
the
have,
hesitation. See, my point proven.
You're not even going to talk to a person if you don't have a baseline attraction, first of all.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So, like, I don't think your fat and ugly thing, that's some people's types. No?
Okay, let's take away.
And that's subject. I think that is out.
Mid looking.
Okay. No, take that out because females, attraction can grow for females.
Yeah, okay.
But for males, they're either attracted to you or they're not. Of the beginning only.
No, some people can grow on you.
But not generally.
Not generally.
But I do have a comment about the broke part. I told you right now, I want to be like, it would be nice to be provided for, but if you cannot provide for me, like I provide for myself anyway.
But you don't want to provide for him.
Yes. Yes, man. I'm not about to have a house husband over here. But sorry, I am struggling to provide for myself and be independent. I don't want to be in a relationship where it's like I feel like I'm the man. Like no. I'd rather be alone.
Let's hold on that. What do you mean by that? Like, I'm the man. So the man has to be the provider, yeah.
Yeah.
See, you're a little traditional that way.
No. I need you to have a job. I don't need you to be a CEO.
Okay.
I can't be the one paying the bills. I'm
Okay.
happy if we split the bills.
Okay, fine. Fair
That's
enough.
that's
Fair
fair.
enough. Fair
That
enough.
is fair, man.
Fair enough. To be. But then we still have the certain what do you call what's the
Okay,
word now?
no.
Stiffness.
These are my three conditions,
fine.
and this bare minimum, and this is not too much to ask
But
for.
the other flaws also you're taking a little bit of a caveat. Broke member, can afford for their own expenses. And instead of fat and ugly, bare minimum attraction. So you're compromising on the flaws also. So can you compromise on the good parts also? So instead of being a great communicator, let's say 50% is okay at communicating. And then instead of cheating, let's say wandering eye. Okay,
No,
micro cheating.
no.
See, you're
I'm
not willing
out.
to compromise
I'm out.
on the good, but you're willing to compromise on the bad. Yeah. Think about that. Think about that. See, I give therapy instead. Okay.
No. I think that no one is perfect. Okay,
Okay.
I ain't perfect.
Are you happy? Okay, would you be happy for the rest of your life if you lived a single life? Would you be happy?
Yes.
Would you be okay with that? Genuinely, don't need to think about the right.
I mean, it's great to be in love
Yeah.
and have that person to learn and grow with you.
Mhm.
And that's what I was gonna say right now.
Mhm.
No one is perfect, including
Yeah.
you, especially
Yeah,
you.
yes.
Okay, so like, but I think it's that willingness to learn and grow
Mhm.
with the person.
Yeah.
And I find that most men are emotionally unavailable, so they're not willing to get on that, and that's fine. I'd rather like not be in a situation like that
Mhm.
than like, oh, I need to have a partner
Mhm.
by all means.
Okay. But then preferably you would like to have a partner to share your life with, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
right,
That's like one of the
Yeah.
great bonuses of life.
Yes, exactly. Which
Yeah,
I also agree with.
but it's not like my
Mandatory.
life is incomplete if I
Yeah.
don't
Okay.
achieve this.
Okay.
Yeah,
But that's what I'm saying. Like you would prefer to have that, right?
preferred. Yeah,
Yes. So if you prefer to have it, you have to have certain room for compromise.
of course.
So just like how I said, like the person that you would like to share this life with, you could compromise on their traits. You should also be willing to compromise on your wants also.
Yes.
So I would say like if you prefer one way, then you need to compromise a little bit. And if you're not willing to compromise, then accept what you're not willing to prefer.
I think there's plenty of compromise in whatever I shared right now.
Okay. Let the comments let us know. Okay.
No, there's plenty of compromise.
Yeah.
Am I saying like I need a CEO, this height, this much money, you better provide for everything?
No.
None
No,
of
I think you
that.
said it's fine.
What I said,
but it's also
so much of
rare,
what I
rare to
said
find all
was
those traits and attributes.
no. So much of what I said was, I think, based on basic decency
Mhm.
and like decent human
Right
character.
now, you're taking like a little bit like middle ground. Like he's not all the way here, but he's here. All the way here. But it doesn't work that way. He could be all the way here in this part, but all the way here in this part.
Yeah.
So compromise doesn't work like that, I'm saying.
No nga the experience babe at hema.
Mm,
So I'm all about the middle way.
okay.
Eh,
Okay. Hope you find that. Hope you do.
I don't think I will. I'm fine with that.
So yeah.
Like you said, at the end of the day, you can only focus on yourself
Yeah.
and continue to work on cultivating the best version of yourself. That's why I have this black ass nose right now.
Oh yeah, we did
Because
talk
I've
about it.
been trekking,
Yeah,
like
we did talk
you
about
can
that.
just continue to improve yourself. Because if you put your expectations on other people and you need to fulfill me, you need to complete me, and complete my life, you need to make me whole, then that's risky for your mental health. That's why I look at love now as one of the great bonuses of life, but not as a requirement to complete me as a person. Learned that the hard way. What about you?
Like what love, yeah. That's I think bonus in life. But I would, like I said, prefer to find a partner to share this life with. But if I don't find it, like Ngaragi Goshlonga, my what call standards, then I don't really want to compromise too much. But if I'm really saying like, okay, now it's time that I want a partner for sure, then I think I'm willing to compromise on a lot of things.
I think like right now men's reputation is not that great
Yeah,
in
yeah.
general.
Yeah, so it's
And I'm
hard.
not saying that everyone is like that, but I think like for most women, they cannot tolerate like I think most women want monogamy, and I just don't think a lot of men believe in that or are willing to commit to that. I
In the
find that that is one
Yeah, yeah,
struggle in
I would
it.
agree.
It's partially like related to being emotionally unavailable and
Mm,
all that, and I think that's why unfortunately many women are simply opting out.
mm,
It's less painful
yeah, yeah.
to opt out
But then again, also
completely.
there's also this theory that 80% of women are attracted to only 20% of men, which means 80% of the general women population are only attracted to only 20% of the general population of
Mm.
men because they have certain standards, whereas men are more willing to compromise and women are not.
Oh, I don't know, man. I think we need to end the podcast here. We can agree to
We
disagree.
can agree to
I
disagree.
am not one. I'm not one of those women that you put that statistic in. Nga di mi me wai.
Okay,
Mm.
all right, we'll
Okay.
continue.
Okay. Okay, we're getting the eyes
Yes, yes.
from the crew.
Okay.
Che last
Kachi.
mental health ki.
Kuch lo, kuch. What was the
Netang
prompt?
di ka tipe mo.
Netang there.
I forgot, man. What was the question?
What was that? Mental health, Kachi. Kastega. Huh? What's your standpoint on mental health? Yeah. What's the question? How's your mental health? Yeah.
Man, I
Very bad.
completely forgot, man. What was the question? Okay, I guess you're on a mental health podcast.
Okay.
I'm very grateful. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming here. Mo
Enjoyed
dari.
the snacks and
Uh,
coffee.
you are welcome from BGMM Katole. I guess uh I guess Masterpiece also has the casual viewers, and some who are really into it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess people who are really into mental health. Uh, I'm grateful that you came on. If you have any last words to say,
Mental health wise, yeah.
mental health wise, or just as yourself as well.
Yeah, take some time to look inward. And if you can't, then don't forget to breathe. I think it's a little cliche, but then sometimes when you're overwhelmed, just take a deep breath. It really helps.
It really
It really helps.
does.
I'm not
It
kidding.
really
Sometimes
does.
panic attack, like Katsa, I told you, man, a panic attack,
See, I told you you've grown since 2 years ago.
Just breathe.
When I was on his podcast, he even made fun of like all these mental health taglines. Just breathe, and now look, he's saying it
Just
himself.
breathe, just breathe.
Just breathe.
But also don't get carried away. Just because one small problem comes, don't be like, oh, now the world is over. Oh my God, people don't appreciate my depression, anxiety, ADHD, HDMI, PS5, TV, whatever. Okay, so like sometimes you have to be like, Kimmy, this is hard, but I'm gonna push through. But also when it's getting too hard, it's like take a
Know
step
when to
back.
stick.
Yeah, take
Yeah.
a step back. And what do you call? If you want to get somewhere in life, do the hard part. If you're doing
Do
the
the
easy,
hard
if you're
thing.
doing the easy shortcut all the time, you're not gonna get anywhere. Shortcut will reach the short-term happiness. Long cut will take long cut happiness.
Long way.
Oh, wow, there's no such thing as long
Long
cut. It's just
cut
the
me.
it's the regular way. Yeah, that's why I see. Like at least mental health wise, I'll say in terms of like what you call mental strength, pitching. Let's say whether you want to build a relationship like we talked about with a partner, or whether you want to build a career or a self wellness. If you do not work hard and you take the shortcuts and in short term gratification instead of the delayed gratification, you're not going to get to the goal that you set upon yourself. You're going to stop halfway. So be driven. I think
Yeah.
that's the good thing to
I
keep.
I think what you're saying is yes, nice to build relationship with others, but always continue the work for life of building a relationship with yourself.
Mama, that's her words, not mine. Okay.
That was your subtitles.
Paraphrasing. Just no, even in relationships, like let's say with your mom. Let's say if you and your mom got into a fight, and then you both are because of ego, you're holding back to talk to each other. Let's say in order to maintain the long-term happiness, short-term ego subside, baby. Say sorry, even though you think they're not, if you're not wrong, because you want to maintain that relationship. So that also takes a while. Swallow the ego, swallow the pride. Is going to give you nothing in the long run. Long run is better than the shortcut. Yeah.
Thank you, Sai.
Thank you.
I enjoyed the
Me
conversation.
too.